Claps bro, gotta do a season recap like last season. What did you like? What were you not a fan of?
You're the same person from last season who asked me the same thing and got me to think about doing it. I'll do it one more time. Although, I've also thought about potentially doing these type of things off stream, but I actually don't have a whole lot to say beyond just feeling. So I'll rip it. Why not? Season 3 and 3.5 were kind of underwhelming, but like they were good at the same time. Like on paper, everything was good. 2 new characters. They did some pretty decent balance changes. Like they shook up the meta a little bit from season 2 to season 3. They changed it from like the weird, annoying hybrid characters like your Iron Fists, Mr. Fantastics, your... Who else was really hard meta back then? Bucky, Punisher, I guess kind of were for a little bit. Also, I guess that was also into season 3 a little. And then for tanks, they kind of like switched up. It was no longer like Captain America Dive. It was back towards like Magneto and Strange, because Emma's getting banned all the time. But Emma as well. They added some new things like Thing being able to knock things out of the sky. They've added new abilities, new team-ups to so many new characters. Like Torch and Thing had some crazy ass combo where you can fly through the sky and drop them in like an AC-130. I mean, not an AC-130, but you know what I mean. But yet, I think for a lot of people, it was potentially the most boring season. And I hate saying that as like a, you know, like, oh, is every season going to be more boring than the last? Well, maybe for a couple of seasons. That's just kind of how it goes sometimes. Didn't mean to hit that. And I think there's a couple of big elephants in the room. There's matchmaking. There's been like the EOMM demon that's been in the closet for forever, right? It's been in everybody's closet for weeks, months. That finally got addressed. And then there was like 2 schools of thought, like, you know, everything is, you know, a skill issue, or they're lying to us, right? But I don't think either of those things are totally true. I also think there's more of a middle of like, there is something wrong with it. And I think in a lot of ways it's still trying to prioritize faster queues, almost like when the game came out, but that there being less people playing, and especially in the higher ranks, less people playing, right? Because like, I hate to say it, I don't think this game is viewed as a hyper-competitive game, and most people that want a competitive experience are going to play a maybe more competitive game. You know, sometimes the balance of this game feels Mickey Mousey. Sometimes the way it plays, in a lot of ways, feels Mickey Mousey. And unfortunately, like, the sad reality is that this game has marketed itself as a casual, friendly, casual balance, is everything's broken, nothing's broken type of game. And those casual people are the first people to turn on you. They will be the first person to turn on you every single time. They're going to always chase the shiny new toy in the room. They're always going to chase whatever is most interesting to them. Those are the people that typically argue they want their character to be so omega busted that nobody else has fun. But like the hyper competitive players sometimes go a little bit too far in the opposite direction, where it's like they take away all the fun in the pursuit of balance. So both of them end up being kind of annoying, but you want to have somewhere in the middle where it feels competitive to play competitive, but not so ridiculously neutered that the game loses its soul, loses its life. And I think for a lot of people right now, with the matchmaking being how it is, you get faster games, but the quality feels less. It feels like it's steamroll or gets steamrolled. I haven't even been playing much the last couple weeks, to be honest with you. I haven't been, but I still flip through all my friends' streams and I pop through and see what's going on and talk to them and ask questions and chat and do whatever. And everyone always says the same thing, like, the games just feel horrible. Something's wrong, like, they feel really bad. And whether you like it or not, you kind of have to somewhat take that into account. And of course, there's people are gonna be like, well, that's just a very small minority of people. No, it's not, because not every person hops on the internet and complains about stuff all day long. Like, they just go on with their day. Hell, like that, every video you ever watch on the entire planet is proof of that. If you look at a video that has 100,000 views and there's 300 comments, out of 100,000 people, 300 people decided to say something about it. That's like 99,000 people. You know, hell, let's say 1,000 comments. Let's kick it up a notch. Let's say 1,000 comments on a 100,000 view video, which is a lot, by the way. 99,000 people decided to not say a word. Only 1,000 people decided to yap about it. But like, the people who are yapping about it aren't always wrong either, right? And so sometimes being able to see through that is also important. And yeah, people are always gonna play and keep coming back. I don't think Rivals is dying. I think the people that think the game is dying are stupid. I think it's declined. That's mathematical, true. But I am a little concerned that a game like this needs to have a core competitive community. It needs to. That's what kept Overwatch alive for all the years that people said it was a dead game. Heads up, by the way. Real talk. That's the truth. Like, you want to know why Overwatch survived its 6 years of dog shit and now has a chance to potentially, like, have somewhat of a comeback? The answer to that question is they had an extremely hardcore competitive community, and it stayed, like, somewhat close to it. The furthest they strayed away was Overwatch 2's launch for, like, a couple months, and it was really bad. And that was when it fell off really quickly, actually, was when they decided to abandon that. And most people will tell you they don't want a competitive game, because the people who are going to complain about it the most on the internet are the average shitter, TikTok commenter, Redditor, whatever it is, that really doesn't like not winning all the time. And they can't tell the difference between a good competitive game and a not good competitive game. They can only tell whether they won or lost. And so when you have a casual game like this, you don't want to push the casuals away. I'm not saying you should do that at all. That's stupid to try to push them away. They're the lifeblood. They're what fuels the game further. But also there's a reason why, like, there's a reason for them to come back. The game has to have a heartbeat of its own. It can't just rely on the whims of people coming and going. Even the biggest game in the world for a long time, Fortnite. Fortnite had one of the strongest competitive communities. Good, like, whether you liked the game or not, had huge prize pools, huge competitive value, whatever. And, like, it became so bad that, like, the sweats of Fortnite were tearing the game apart because, like, the casuals couldn't keep up anymore. And so what they did is they basically just, like, split them off and put them somewhere else. And they could do that because that's how the game worked. You can't do that in a hero shooter. It doesn't work. I think this game's coming to a crossroads where it has to decide if it still wants to be the quote-unquote hyper-casual, friendly, you know, everything is broken, nothing is broken type of game, or is it going to look itself in the mirror and go, the vast majority of the hyper-casuals have already left, and the people that come back are the people who enjoy hero shooters casually and competitively. Those people will always come back, though, if the game is fun and feels rewarding. The people who just follow the trends and just play whatever is new, they're not loyal to you. They'll never be loyal to you. But you know what they'll always show up for? They'll always show up for new, fun content. You don't have to cater to them. They'll always show up. That's the truth, right? Like, if the game is super, super fun, they would show up. But the problem is, though, is as a game like this progresses, it becomes less and less new player friendly. As the game has been out for a year, if you try to have somebody who cops in and has never played a hero shooter in their entire life, and it tries to hop into Rivals, even though Rivals is objectively a much easier game than other hero shooters, like, for example, the #1 competitor Overwatch, it is way easier to get into Rivals than it is to get into Overwatch. Because you have 9 years of experience versus 1 year coming up on experience, right? Even so, it's getting harder and harder. So you have to make sure your core player base feels rewarded for playing the game, but also make the content fun. And being able to do both of those at the same time is really hard. So I feel a little bit bad, I guess, for this, like, quote-unquote Season 3 in review. Because I don't have anything, like, super feedbacky to give you. It's more of just a report of how people feel, how I've looked at it, how I've sort of felt with it. There's no really reason to put a bunch of hours in. And it's a very nice game for me as a creator, actually. I enjoy it a lot. Where I get to come in, play for a couple hours, play for a couple, like, a week, 2 weeks, and then I kind of piece back out. Because that's just how the content schedule works. But for your actual core community, they're going to get more and more restless, and they need to have something that they actually feel somewhat invested in. Because at the end of the day, when you sign up to play a online PvP shooter, you know you're playing a competitive game. Someone has to win, and someone has to lose. But that doesn't mean it has to be miserable every single time. There can be times where you decide, I'm going to grind this game for 8 hours. Yeah, I went on a big loss streak, but you know what, though? When I do win a bunch of games, I feel rewarded for it. It feels good. And even if I lose a bunch, it doesn't feel horrendous, you know? Winning and losing in this game kind of feels like, I don't know, not much anymore. Like, winning doesn't even feel like that great sometimes, and losing feels horrendous. So, I don't know how do you fix that. I really do not know. So that being said, I'm not going to drag this on too much longer. I do think the number one thing Rivals needs to do more than anything else, Rivals definitely needs to figure it out with, is the roles. The role wars are just annoying at this point, but you know, support hasn't gotten anything. Like, support hasn't gotten shit since Invis. I don't care. Ultron does not count. That guy is literally a DPS in cosplay. Maybe I'm out of line here, but I think that support player base is arguably just as big as the DPS player base. Maybe not in quick play, but like, there's a lot of games where you end up getting triple support players, and those guys like playing support. And you have two different groups. You have the people that play support style, right, where they play like the DPS support, like they like playing your Adams type of thing. And there's also just like people like to hop in and heal. You know, they like to just hop in and heal, and I think that's good too. But they haven't gotten anything in so long, and I know they can't change their current roadmap. It's already kind of locked in for a while because of this pace they're releasing characters. But they gotta definitely spread the love a little bit in that department. Definitely gotta spread the love. That's probably my big one, is either matchmaking, figuring that out, and hero distribution. Those are the things that kind of carry Rivals these days. So, I don't know. Rivals is... I don't think it's going anywhere by any means, in any way. But I do die a little on the inside sometimes when I look at potential issues that everyone's kind of having, or like a, you know, like... For a couple weeks ago, it was talking about matchmaking, like hero balance, whatever. And then I open up, you know, the newest Rivals tweet, and it's like another cosmetic that's getting added, like another little weapon charm, or another little like emote in chat type of thing. Like, those are all cool, but like, good lord, is there so many of them. But the Marvel IP is going to always carry this game. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, and I think that having this game in competition with Overwatch and Overwatch in competition with Rivals is the best thing we can all ask for, because we get to enjoy two cakes. That being said, though, it makes me a little sad looking around and just seeing, like, it almost reminds me in some way of, like, either old Overwatch or, like, 2022, 2023 Overwatch, where there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of hope. Like, everyone just kind of seems like, eh. Even at the good things, when they're getting everything they could have asked for. You know, they're getting new heroes, balance is coming out pretty quickly, but like the general vibe is just kind of down, you know, across the board. And I think something that could change that is like that esports event. Like, if they went hard with the esports event, made it a big deal, made sure that it had huge marketing, got a lot of people behind it, kind of like how like Apex events used to do, or like Worlds with like League. Something like that I think could potentially really turn it around. But other than that, though, I'm not really sure. So I guess in conclusion, I don't think it was like a necessarily bad season. It shouldn't have been a bad season because it wasn't on paper. But it was by far the season I've played the least, and was the least exciting for me. And I don't think I'm alone in that department. I do hope it changes, though, because I think there's a lot of people out there that love hero shooters and enjoy hero shooters, and they want this game to succeed and to do well, but maybe don't know how to go about it.